Welcome to Reckless Paradise, everyone. I'm your host, Marissa, and I'm here with my co-host. Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Enjoying August thus far. At the time of recording this, we're actually preparing this episode for August 10th, which is when you guys will see it. Um, so when you guys see it, we'll be kind of right in the fair week. So yeah, I hope you guys are hanging in there and having a good August so far. So let's get into tonight's episode. Thank you for joining us tonight, and I hope you guys enjoy. So, our last episode we did our top albums of all time. So, if I were you, I'd go check that episode out first before catching this one. Very good episode, by the way. We have literally completely different lists. It's like one or two songs, which is rare.
Yeah, uh, that was such a good one too.
It was. It really was. So tonight we are doing our Foo Fighters album ranking. So for Foo Fighters, there were 11 albums we had to get through, and we spent about a month doing it. It didn't take us long to get through 11 albums, which is odd because with Def Leppard, there were 12, and it took us about 2.
Yeah, it really just breezed on by, to be honest with you,
It
to be
did.
honest.
Now, the thing is, we did 2 albums separate outside of the pilgrimage because one you got for album exchange, so I had to go back and listen to it so that we were caught up. One we listened to in tribute to Taylor Hawkins. We did the Taylor Hawkins tribute in the server for his 1 year anniversary of his passing. And when we spun our wheel for which album we were going to do, it landed on Echoes, Silence, Patience, and Grace.
That was a really good album too.
It was pretty solid, yeah, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah,
So we have 11 albums to get through, and if you guys know how this works, we always start from the bottom, which would be our least favorite, and work our way to the top, being our favorite. So, are you ready to go?
are you ready?
No, I'm not ready.
It
It
doesn't
doesn't
matter
matter if
if you're ready.
you're ready. We thought the same thing.
Mind melt.
Oh
But yes,
boy.
I am ready. I'm
Okay.
ready.
Alright, we're going to start at the bottom at number 11.
Number 11.
I kind of have a feeling we have the same, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, like,
Concrete and Gold.
yep.
Yeah. That album
Sucked.
was bad. It was pretty bad. We got through about halfway, and I was like, "Oh no, can this album be over with?" Like each track that played after all the good ones, like the good ones came pretty early on in the album. Like
Mhm.
after that, it got really shitty. We were like, "Oh come on, like this one sucks." And then we hit one towards the end, had Taylor. I was like, "Okay, that's cool. I like this one."
Yeah, I mean, it's like I didn't have high hopes for it,
I
like,
didn't
to be honest
either.
with you. Didn't you say like some of like your mutual friends was like kind of like they weren't like nagging on the album, they were just being like
It was
just
like mid.
warning you. Yeah, they were just like warning you, being like,
It was
hey,
worse than mid.
it doesn't. No, just
It was
kidding.
pretty bad. Like I was really
Yeah.
disappointed hearing this album. It was from 2017. It just didn't sound like a typical Foo Fighters album. Like it didn't sound right. And like
Yeah.
one of the tracks was supposed to have Justin Timberlake on it. I didn't even hear him. I was disappointed.
I think it was just like the mixing or something.
Yeah, I don't
But
know
yeah.
what it was. But that album put me to sleep practically. I'd have to say, like, out of all the albums I've heard that I didn't like, I'm not gonna count Slang because I actually like Slang. That album redeemed itself with me. I don't know about you, but it redeemed itself with me. Out of all the albums I didn't like for them, this is probably the worst. Worse than Flick of the Switch. It's worse than X. It's worse than Nine. It's just shit. It's not good.
It take you to hell with you. It's just
So yeah, not really much to say about that.
yeah.
Number 10. Are we gonna agree again?
Is it Medicine Midnight?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Now this album is slightly gold. It's more of a modern day album. It came out in 2021 during the pandemic. I remember when this album came out too. Like, it was a big deal to a lot of people, but after a while, the hype for it went down. I guess this album kind
Yeah.
of shifted towards a different
Pop.
sound again, more of like a pop sound. Um, it's again, it did not sound like a stereotypical Foo Fighters album that we all knew to love. Um, it's just once again, it's one of those situations where they tried something and it didn't work, which it happens to a lot of bands. It's a trial and error thing, and that's understandable. Everybody has to try something new once in a while. Um, but it was a shame this one didn't work out either because I had hopes for this one slightly because it was a more recent album. And right off the bat, I knew half the album because I've heard it on the radio because they had a whole bunch of singles from it.
Yeah. Whereas I didn't know jack shit about this one.
I knew Love Dies Young, Waiting
Well,
on War,
I knew Love Dies Young, and
Shame, Shame.
I knew Shame Shame, and then I knew Waiting on War. Those like the only three that I knew. But
There's
other than
another
that,
one.
I
Making a
didn't,
Fire. That was the other one.
but other than those three, I did not know anything else.
Yeah, and that's understandable. It sucks that I had hopes for this one, but it didn't work out. You know.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do?
All right, number 9. I have a feeling we might differ on this one, but I'm not 100% sure.
What did you put?
I put Sonic Highways here.
I did too.
Really?
Yeah, I did too.
Really? Like this whole time I thought like, because like from the last episode, damn, does he like Sonic Highways a lot? Like,
No, like okay, hear me out though.
okay,
The first maybe three, four songs I liked. The other half, could have been better, to be honest with
yeah,
you. Like if like they flipped it like 180, like put the last song like first or something, and then they put something from nothing last or something like that, like that would have been probably way better because it would have been more for crescendo
yeah,
and stuff. Like I think that would have been better, but it's like yeah, they you put like the first four songs out there and it's like oh okay, like I like these, and then it's like it ends on like kind of like a like just like okay, it's so mellow, it's like it's putting me to sleep, like oh my god, it's putting me to sleep. Like
like I feel like Sonic Highways was the beginning of the slow decline of the Foo
yeah,
Fighters
that's what I was
albums
thinking
because they
too.
went Sonic Highways, Concrete and Gold, and then Medicine at Midnight. If we're going in order, those
Yeah,
3 albums, like obviously there are bottom 3 here. It was all in like just like those 3 albums, like they just were, man,
I think it's like after Wasting Light they were just like okay, we gotta do something different,
and
and
it didn't
then
work.
yeah, it just did not work at all.
It
Like
sucks.
sorry fellas, but like stick to like what you know best is kick-ass rock music.
I'd say that, but some groups they try something different, and sometimes it works. Sometimes it actually works,
Yeah,
surprisingly.
sometimes yes.
Um, but yeah, damn, we actually agree. All right,
Yeah.
number 8. I have self-titled here.
You're shitting me, right?
No.
I have that one too.
Okay, yeah. So this one might be easy, like for ranking, because I think we can agree on most of these.
Yeah, some of it, like, well, a lot of it probably, uh, was hit or miss.
Now, this album was not bad like the other 3. This one was
Yeah,
actually okay. Like this one,
yeah.
like I loved this one a little bit more. It has Big Bitch. I love that song. It has
Oh,
I'll Stick Around. It has what's that fucking For the Cows? Is that what it is?
for all the
For All
cows.
the Cows. Yeah, and there's another one. Something, right? I can't remember the name of it, but I like that one too. It's like just before
Oh yeah, yeah. I just check it
yeah.
out.
I like that one too. Oh my god. Oh, it's just before Good Grief. That's what it is.
Yeah, I liked Good Grief. If you listen to the last episode, I
Now with
had put
this album, like I feel like it's supposed like every debut album from a band is supposed to showcase what you're capable of, what you have to bring to the table. And this one was a good representation for the most part. It's a very heavy, straightforward, grunge sounding album, to be honest. Sounds more like grunge.
Mm-hmm.
Considering this was from '95, so this was still right in the peak of the grunge era.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so with songs like whenever I think of grunge, like whenever I think of the self-titled, I always think of um
Nirvana.
Nirvana, yeah. But the song I'm trying to think of, I'll Stick Around. Like that's the one that I'm always like going to. Like that's the one I gravitate towards when I think of this album. It really accurately represents what Foo Fighters really had to bring to the table at the time. And then you have Big Me, which kind of is like a softer side of the Foo Fighters. So it's like, okay, they have two sides they could bring to the table here for the future albums. And I really like that. So props to them for that. They did a good job.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Okay. Number 7. What do you have?
I put Echo Silence Patience of the Greats here.
I swear
You
to
did too.
God. I swear to God. Like, this is like the easiest fucking album ranking we've ever done.
I mean, you kind of nailed it on the head too. It's like it was okay. Not like a lot of the songs like I remember
It was
from the
very
album.
mellow.
It was very very mellow. Yeah, it was very very mellow.
The thing is with this album, what they wanted to do was compared to the previous album In Your Honor. In Your
Hmm.
Honor, they had two separate sides. One track, what like one disc was all electric, the other half was acoustic. That was the second disc. Um, what they wanted to do is like, hey, why can't we just combine it into one album? Like, why can't we just put acoustic, like softer songs and hard rock songs on one disc? And they did that with Echo Silence Patience. Only flaw is it's a little too mellow for me. So a lot of the songs I tend to forget from that one.
Yeah, I understand that.
I'd have to say my favorite song. Like I have a lot actually. I got "Cheer Up, Boys, Your Makeup Is Running." I like that one.
Hmm. My personal favorite's always gonna be Pretender. Anyway, every day.
I also like "Let It Die." That one's good
Mhm.
too.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Why you have to
Uh,
go and let it die?
well, I can't remember. Like, I remember one of the songs had like the echo, silence, patience, and grace.
I think that's "Home."
Yeah, that was a good one too.
That's "Home." I like that one too. That one actually kind of made me sad because, like I said, we did it for the Taylor Hawkins tribute for
Hmm.
his 1 year anniversary of his passing. So, like, when we heard that, I kind of got sad. I was like, oh,
Yeah, I mean he's in a better place. He's not suffering or anything, and
yeah.
it's like he's home.
God damn it, guys. You're going to make me sad. Stop it. I don't want to cry. We haven't even gotten to the sad album
We're not
yet.
even 15 minutes in. You're kidding.
Oh, yes. I love my hormones. Anyways, so far so good. Um, Number 6, I put In Your Honor.
Oh yeah, I did too.
Jesus Christ, on a bike.
I swear to God, like we say this every ranking episode. We did not look at each other's list beforehand or anything.
Nope.
But this is like gotta be the easiest one that we've ever done.
Next to Billy Talent, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like the Billy Talent one, it was like because like I had said like when we did the Billy Talent one, I was like, okay, I gotta think like Marissa thinks.
ACDC made me feel you.
Well, I mean, to
Literally.
each their own. To each
It
their
literally
own.
may me want to kill you, and I will never forgive you for that.
Hey, I'll never forgive you for putting Stiff Upper Lip like way
I
low.
fucking. Okay. Talk about Foo Fighters. Alright. So, In Your Honor, like I just explained, it was two discs, one acoustic disc, one electric disc. I would have put this album higher if I would have remembered the acoustic side more. The problem we
Yeah.
did, the issue we had was we did it all in one night. What we should have done is split it up into 2 nights. We should have did the electric side first on one night, and then the following night we should have did the acoustic side. Because by the time we finished the electric side, we were getting tired. we were getting very tired. It was late at night. We did it on a
Yeah.
Thursday, and that's when we do our recording. So we did it right after recording. So it was like 11 something when we got through the electric side. We were already tired. And then when we finished
Yeah.
the acoustic side, it was after midnight. It was like 12:30 in the fucking morning.
Yeah. So lesson learned.
Lesson
Lesson
learned.
learned.
That album is very long. It's like an hour and 20 minutes. I think it's like
Yeah.
almost as long as The Wall from Pink Floyd. Good album, by the way. Um, good movie too. But yeah,
Yeah.
that album is good though. I'm not gonna lie. In Your Honor is very good. My favorite track is on there. Resolve, my number one favorite track. Spoiler alert. I love that song. It also has DOA, which I know you like, and it has Best of You.
Got enough bears to make.
And on the acoustic side, there's a track that Taylor does on there.
hmm Another good track that I've listened to like many times it was Virginia Moon.
Okay, that one I'm
That's a
gonna
good
have
one.
to listen to as well.
That's a good one.
All right, top five. Here we go. What do you got for number five?
I put Color and Shape at number 5.
What? Nah, man. Okay, this is where we differ. My number five is One by One.
Okay. Kind of figure you would put it there, to be honest with
I'm
you.
surprised you put the color and shape at number five. Like, what?
Hey, at least it's in the top 5.
Yeah, I'll give you props for that. Like, what?
Okay, but hear me out though. So
Okay.
some of the songs they're not that memorable
Really?
for me. For me, like "Hey Johnny Park" and stuff. I remember that
Yes.
song. No, I said I remember that song.
I said yes.
Okay, I thought you were
February.
going
I
what?
almost said February wins. I meant to say February stars. I'm gonna get them mixed up. I'm gonna get them so mixed
February
up. It's
wins.
February stars. You remember that one, don't you?
Well, yes, obviously.
I'm gonna get them mixed up, and I'm gonna literally hate myself for
When
it.
when we did the breakdown for Color and Shape, go check that out by the way. Uh, there's some songs that were just not
Ugh.
that memorable. Like Doll,
Yeah.
like Doll was not
Then
memorable.
there's that
Like
one track where everybody didn't want it on the album, but Dave did.
oh yeah, like I was like okay,
I was
that
like, Dave,
was
you should have listened.
you should have listened, Dave. Um, but like like Monkey Wrench and Everlong and My Hero and stuff like the three biggest hits from that album. To be honest with you, like those were the ones that were kind of like maybe put at number 5. It could have been way lower. It could have been way lower, but I didn't want to do that because then I didn't want to be petty. So,
Right.
um, but it because of those three songs, I put it at number 5.
Okay, that's all right. Hey, at least in the top five. I give you props for that. So one by one for me, this is the same situation. A lot of the tracks I don't remember. I don't know if it's because this was our first official album we did for the pilgrimage, like when we actually started. This is the album we started with. So I don't know if it's because of that. But I do remember Overdrive. I remember All My Life. I remember Burn Away, Low. Um Burn Away is really good too. I actually listened to that one a little bit more. I was thinking about that song today. Um, it's just one of those albums where I don't remember all the tracks, but it had to be in my top five because the tracks I do remember are bangers. Like I cannot get enough of them, and Overdrive is in my top 10. So yes. All right, number four. I put the most recent album from this year, but here we are.
Wow, that's shocking
Not really.
to hear you. Well, kind of shocking for me though. Um, I put "There's Nothing Left to Lose" here.
No.
It's the exact same situation with Color and the Shape.
Ugh. Ugh. Ugh.
I thought you were.
My My fucking heart hurts. Okay. So
When does it never not hurt? I mean, come on.
so what do you have to say about There's Nothing Left to Lose?
Like I had said about Coven and Shape, like there's a lot of songs that were kind of not memorable for me, but hey, at least it's in the top five. Okay, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm glad it's in the top 5.
Um, like MIA was on there. Like
Yes.
Breakout, Learn to Fly, obviously.
Next
Uh,
Year is on there as well.
yeah, I like that. I really enjoyed that one because
Me
you
too.
were hyping that up too.
It was one of the first Foo Fighters songs I heard on the radio during the pandemic because that's when I found Foo Fighters. I found them during the pandemic. That was one of the first songs I heard, believe it or not. It caught my attention really quickly. Um, but yeah, I'll get to that album when we get to it. So my number 4 is But Here We Are. This is a very, very recent album. This came out in June 2nd, actually. So it's been almost, well, over 2 months, I should say. This
Mm,
album blew me away. I was not expecting to be that good, considering their previous album was pretty shit. Um, this album actually kind of makes me sad, so I had to put it a little bit lower than I was expecting to put it because it just makes me sad. I actually have a hard time listening to this album. I've only listened to it twice in full since it came out. One being literally 2 nights ago, and it made me cry. It literally made me cry again. When we first played it together, I was fucking bawling because you gotta remember, Taylor and Dave's mother passed away in the same year in 2022. So this album's kind of written about the grief and the recovery process, the healing process that Dave had went through, and plus the band members too when Taylor was gone. What they had went through when they lost Taylor and stuff like that. It's like about the grieving process and stuff like that. Um, it's just sad, like when you get to the end with the track Rest, it's like you can rest now, you will be safe now. Like it just pulls at your heartstrings.
yeah.
It really does. I still can't believe Taylor's gone. Like I had a really bad, sad moment 2 nights ago about it. Ugh. Like, it didn't hit me as hard until after we finished the pilgrimage. Like it just hit me like a fucking freight train. Like oh my god.
Yeah,
It's
I
definitely
know
the
how you
perfect
feel.
album. It's definitely the perfect album for a tribute for Taylor and for Dave's mother. It's the perfect tribute album. There's nothing bad to say about it. There's no weak tracks at all.
Mm-mm.
There's nothing to complain about here.
Yeah.
Number 3. What do you got?
This is where I put One by One here.
Okay, hey, that's cool. That's really cool. This is where I put the color and the shape.
Okay. Kind of figured you would.
So for me, the color and the shape is the complete opposite. There's a lot of tracks I remember actually. Hey Johnny Park being one.
Mm.
Wind Up, Enough Space,
February
February
stars.
Stars. I almost said Wins again. Billy Talent, You're Living in My Head Rent Free. Obviously, you got Everlong and Monkey Wrench. Um,
My
it's just
hero.
there's another one too, A New Way Home or something like that. I think that's the closing track. That whole album is very memorable for me. It's just like you said, there's a few tracks that are kind of shitty, that shouldn't have been there. But overall, this album is a classic. It's a good album to introduce somebody to Foo Fighters with. Um, then I can say the same for the next two albums, because they're all really good. The top three I have, the top four I should say, are really good. But if I feel like if you were to introduce your friend to a Foo Fighters album, it'd have to be this one, to be honest. Even though I introduced my friend last night to Wasting Light, um, but yeah,
Right.
the color and the shape is great, to be honest, and it's memorable for me, so I had to put it there. All right, one by one, what do you have to say?
I mean, it's kind of like what you were talking about, too. Like there's, like again, like there's some songs that were not like. memorable for me sometimes. But then I think I listened to it again the other night. Uh, and I was like, okay, I was like, I was like, just kind of like taking it back because like I didn't really like listen to them because I was like, I was just talking and I was like doing my little due diligence and like looking at like song meanings for all the songs and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go and turn my brain off and just listen to the music. And I was like, I'm kind of glad that I did because I was like, okay, all my one by one like could have been way lower if I didn't like listen to it the second time. I'm kind of glad I did. Um, so that's why I put in like the top three.
See, that was my problem with fuck, what was it? Like, I'm trying to think of that other band. Oh, Def Leppard. That was my problem with Slang. Like, I really feel like shit now because that album's not bad. It's not as bad as I made it out to be. Like, you have to be patient with it. You have to take another listen and really just turn your brain off. Don't worry about the outside opinions and just focus on the sound. It's very different, but you have to get used to it. And you have to take into consideration that with Def Leppard, they were trying to do something different, and it's not always going to work. It's not going to work for everybody that listens, but some people might like it, like I did the second time around. Same thing goes with the color and the shape. I actually had to go back and listen to it again twice, like two more times after we did the pilgrimage, because I didn't. I'm glad I did because if I wanted to listen to it a second time, chances are it would have been way lower. It wouldn't have even been in the top five.
Right.
Yeah, that would have been scary. Um, okay, number two, I put Wasting Light.
Yeah, I put
This
Wasting Light there too.
this hurt me because this hurt me because my number one and my number two are like really, really, really close. Like they're always fighting for the position, and I had to settle with Wasting Light being at number two. And I feel so bad because this album is so freaking good from start to finish.
Mm.
And it was everything that this album was meant to be. I've listened to this album twice, one being the other night, and then the other one being during the pilgrimage. And this album did not disappoint. Like, I'm not gonna lie, there was a couple songs I had to go back and listen to again because I didn't really know what I thought about them. And White Limo was one of the ones. And I love it now. I love the music video. It's fucking funny with fucking Lemmy. God bless. Um,
Oh
that
god.
album just like we both enjoyed that album. I
Hmm.
remember at the end we were like, "Wow."
Yeah. It for me, I think it was because like again, like had like I think I had listened to it in full before, and then I had listened to it like the second time with you, and it kind of made it like more special because like I was listening
Yeah.
to it with you, and then I was like, okay, so because like and I had grown to like really really love the song A Matter of Time for the second time, and like it's been because it's like one of my all-time favorite songs and stuff because like that and Walk and fucking god oh shit, what
Oh, I
was that
forgot about
one?
fourth on that album.
Yeah, Back and Forth was a good one.
Bridge
It's
Burning, the opening track. Oof.
Rope.
Rope. Why?
um like I mean yeah, like it was a good album from start to finish. It's just like I don't know, it's just I just can't put my finger on it. It's just I would probably have to like listen to it like a third time to
to,
like
to get a
really,
good feel for it.
yeah, like get a good feel for it. I mean, other than that, it's like I mean, at least it's in the top three.
It's good. It's
Yeah,
so good.
yeah.
All right. Final one. Number one. What did you put?
I put the latest album here.
Nice. So for me, I put the underdog. I put There's Nothing Left to Lose.
Okay.
I feel like I had that. I feel like that was coming from me. Let's talk about. But here we are. Let's see. What did you have to say?
Like, so when we listened to it together, it kind of made me feel like when we finished the Def Leppard
Oh, don't even
pilgrimage.
get me started.
I know, but it kind of made me have the exact same feelings as like when we finished it with the Drastic Symphonies one,
Yes. Yeah.
and I was like, okay, so it's like I mean, like you said, like it was kind of like a tribute to Taylor and Dave's mom, and I mean, you could basically turn that album into any tribute for any person, to be honest with you.
You're right though. You're right about that. Like you could take it and like if you have a relative you lost, like you could take that and make that into a tribute for them.
Um, like I mean, like when we were talking about color and the shape, I know like this is completely off topic, but like when I was saying about the color and shape, it was kind of like a roller coaster,
Yeah.
and but here we are. It was kind of a roller coaster, but it was kind of like like we started off
Emotional.
like yeah, it was an emotional roller coaster, and it kind of like I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it right now. So it like I was saying, like like it's an emotional roller coaster. It pulls you at the heartstrings at the very, very end. It's kind of like a movie, and Dave and the rest of the band's like they tell their stories through music, and I mean that's what makes musicians good storytellers. Um, I mean it's a lost art nowadays too. Um, and like with Rest at the end, it kind of like pulled at my heartstrings a little bit because I was like, oh my god. I
Yeah, it made me
was
cry.
like, I was like, oh my god.
It literally made me bawl like so bad. But
Hmm.
I don't think anything will make me cry harder than Drastic Symphonies did.
Oh, oh yeah.
Oh man, I literally had to turn my fucking Discord camera on to prove my point. I was bawling.
Yeah, I didn't expect you to do that though too. I
I was
didn't
literally
expect,
crying. I was like, I don't want this to end. Oh,
but
fuck. I'm
I
glad you put
mean,
Here We Are at one. Like, that's awesome.
yeah. Uh,
So, there's nothing left to lose. Is my number one. I don't know. Were you expecting that, or were you expecting me to pick Wasting Light?
well, I know you originally had said to me before, like like, but here we are was gonna be like in your top five, and I was like, okay. I kind of figured that, but I kind of figured you would have put Wasting Light at number two because of that one song.
Yeah.
But I kind of figured that you would have There's Nothing Left to Lose at number one. I kind of did.
Wow. Okay. Damn, I didn't.
I
Um,
mean, you did kind of surprise me, to be honest with you. I mean, some of the picks was kind of surprising, to be honest with you. But I mean, hey.
with There's Nothing Left to Lose, this album is kind of a turning point for the Foo Fighters. At the time, they were a three piece. It was Taylor, Nate, and Dave.
Mhm.
Um, Pat had
Babyface
left.
Dave.
Fucking Pat left. So it was just the three of them. So they kind of changed their sound a little bit. But not too much to be honest. I didn't really notice too big of a difference. Like some songs, there was like a little bit of a change. Like Generator, that's a very unique song. I like it. MIA is
Mhm.
another good example. Probably one of my favorite songs of all time from that album. That whole album just has a really good vibe for me. Like it just has more of like an upbeat vibe for me. I just loved everything about it. The whole sound of it, Dave's vocals, and even the way they looked back in 1999. They looked great. Babyface Dave, like you said, has to be my favorite era of all time from the Foo Fighters, and I think they did a good job on this album. Tends to sleep on this album for some reason, based off of what I've seen from people I've talked to. Um, but as you guys know, I like I'm more of the person that goes for the underdog songs or albums, just because I tend to enjoy them more. It's just how I am. I tend to personally enjoy them more than the bigger albums, and this case is where I really liked the underdog album here. So, yeah, there's nothing left to lose. So, my friends, that wraps up our Foo Fighters album. I hope you guys enjoyed. How did we do? Where would you guys put all these albums? Let us know on social media or even down in the comments. Just let us know. Alright, so our next episode will be this Sunday, the 13th, which is the last day of the fair. But you're in luck. The 13th, we're doing Shoot the Shit episode 10. I think we're on episode 11 or 10.
I think it was 11.
10. I was right. I'm looking at
Oh,
my
okay.
calendar. Well, 10. So Shoot the Shit episode 10, you're going to hear all about it. You're going to hear all about the fair. All about my struggles in July. July was a very month. But yeah, Dystro is I'm recording this. It's August 3rd as I'm recording this, but this is on the 10th. So at the time of recording this, Dystro is still in Florida, but August 4th he'll be flying up to New York and he'll be at the county fair for the first 3 days. I'm so excited. So you're gonna hear all about that on Shoot the Shit with us on the 13th on the Sunday. So be sure to tune in. I am very excited to share it with you guys. What's gonna be what took place. I'm trying to talk in the past. I'm trying to talk in the future tense, and it's not working.
Hey, it never works out.
It doesn't. But what's the song of the night, Daisho? Since you have it tonight.
So we're gonna be starting our Van Halen pilgrimage kind of soon.
Yeah.
And I think it should be appropriate that we should go with, I guess, the lead singer's like solo career, I should say.
Oh, David Lee Roth?
Yes. I'm gonna do. Is it California Girls that he does?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm,
Yes. I
I'm
love
gonna
that
do.
song.
That's gonna be the song of the night then.
All right. So David Lee Roth's California Girls from his solo stuff. So if you guys want to hear that, be sure to click on the top right-hand corner of the episode towards the very end. A link will pop up. I'm going to put the music video because music video is really good. I've seen it on MTV plenty of times in my lifetime, including not too long ago. So go ahead and watch the video. It's great. So if you guys stuck around to the very end, we greatly appreciate your support. Go ahead and follow us on social media by clicking on our link in the description below. It'll take you to Linktree. We have Instagram, Reddit, TikTok, and Twitter, aka X. Go ahead and follow us there to keep up to date with the show. Also, be sure to keep an eye on the community tab section of our YouTube channel. I'll be posting updates there in case something goes wrong, which has happened twice to us this year, sadly. The same month. Isn't that great? But yeah, it's very important you guys keep up to date with our show in case something else does go wrong. We also have Dystro's YouTube channel there. He does some gaming content weekly, and I'm on there too sometimes with him. We play different games. We do Skate 3, we do WWE 2K23. We're trying to get to 900 subscribers at this point. Hopefully by the end of the summer, which would be end of September, I'm thinking. So let's get him over to 900 pretty soon, please. So go share his content around. Go subscribe to him. Once again, take a listen to tonight's song of the night, California Girls by David Lee Roth himself. That's it. Thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you guys Sunday for Shoot the Shit. Peace.
Peace.